Kakadosh Bokato Masechet Rosh Hashana Daf Daled Amud Aleph 4A1. Right? The Gemara says Uma Cheshvan. Right? Uma Cheshvan Uvne Torim V'Dichrim V'Yimnin La'Lavan Le'La Shemiyach Intin Milah Chaman Umshach Kimamar Kaniyah Di B'Yerushalayim Leve Mityahev Lehom Yom B'Yom Di La Shalu. So basically that which that comes, the Gemara, and it says that the Kohanim had to give to the Bet HaMikdash. We're talking about Bnei Bakar Ve'elim, we're talking about rams, right, and sheep, all these things for olot, for sacrifices, chitim, wheat, salt, wine, oil, right, that's written over there. So it says over here, from the fact that Daryavish came and he wanted to give to the Kohanim all that which they needed, it's mashma that he was a tzaddik, even when Ezra came up from Babel. Okay? Makes sense, no? So from the fact that Daryavish came and he said that you have to give all the Kohanim, right? You have to come and you have to give the Kohanim all that which they need. So that is a proof that what? That he was still a tzaddik until the end of his life. Meaning, don't tell me that at the end of his life he became a rasha. Why? Because even at the end of his life, he was trying to tell them, listen, the Kohanim give them everything. Give them oil, wine, wheat, this, everything that they need. So they have everything that they need. Okay? Fine. So says the Gemara, Amar lo Rabbi Yitzchak, says Rabbi Yitzchak to Rav Kahana, Rebbe, mitunach, right? From the fact that you put on top of me, that means from the same psukim that you're coming to ask on me, I'm going to bring a re'ayah, the opposite. Sometimes I come, right, and I want to bring a proof. So I come and I bring a proof. And sometimes from the exact same proof that you brought, you're going to flip it. The exact opposite. So he says, Di lehevon, in order that they were bringing korbanot for nachat ruach to the God of the heavens and the earth, and they were praying on Chaya Melech Ubanav. So therefore you see that the entire thing, why they were doing it, wasn't because he was still a tzaddik and he wanted to give to the Kohanim. It was because he wanted that he should live forever. He wanted, he has to bribe God. He has to come, he wants to, he wants to live forever and this and do good things. That's what he wants. Okay? Fine. Even if you're going to tell me that Yavesh came and he gave tzedakah for what? To live. And that for he should live and his children should live. Is that not good? Imagine right now you're going to give tzedakah for what? That you should live for 120 years. Is that bad? No. Why? It says in the Gemara, that Tanya we learned in the Braita, imagine right now I'm going to give tzedakah every single day. And I'm going to say every single day I'm giving tzedakah that my son should live, that I should have this and that. What's the big deal? The opposite. Tzaddik gamur. Tzaddik gamur. So says the Gemara, la kashya. It's not a question. Why? He says, kan be Israel, kan be ovdei kochavim. One is talking about if it's a Yisrael that's giving it, he's a tzaddik gamur. If it's an ovdei kochavim that's giving it, not. Why? Yeah? Why? No. תסביר את הגמרא. No, the Yavish was not Jewish. Koresh. No, but not this one. First of all, there was two Koresh also. Which one? The Kushya is, what's the difference between the Goy and the Israel? Why is it that if a Jew is going to come and he's going to give it, so it's going to be incredible. It's going to be very, very good. But if it's a Goy, then no.
Maybe because he's not mitzvah. He's not. They don't have the mitzvah. They're not having it. Complain that there is.
We'll no disclosures. Yeah? It says, look in Tosafot, the first Tosafot on the top of the page. Bishvil shichya beni. V'had itna mepere kama Masechet avot al tiyu kavadim shebishim et alav v'mena lekabel pras. Haynu beumot ha'olam shetohim al harishonot. They are toheh al harishonot, which means like this. Imagine a Jew comes and he gives tzedakah 1,000,000 times. And then chas shalom bar minan, his son does pass away. Or whoever it was that he was giving it for passes away. Does he regret giving the tzedakah? No.
Maybe.
No. He doesn't regret. What does he say? He says, obviously, it was because of their sins, because of this, because of that. There was something there. That's Retzon Hashem. Gamarnu. But he tried. A goy, right away is Toheh al Rishonim. What is Toheh al Rishonim? He regrets that which he did before. That's the reason why.
This is the God of the Jews.
And that's the same thing that we mentioned, if you remember a few weeks ago, we said that the Bet HaMikdash was better for the Goy than even for the Jew. Why do we mention that? This is a Midrash, Tanchuma, right? Parashat Pekudei, right? It's also Yekut Shemoni and everything. Why? Because we said Shlomo Melech made sure to pray that whenever a Goy comes to the Bet HaMikdash to pray, Hashem always accepts his tefillah. Why? A Jew could come to the Kotel and pray 1,000,000 times. If it's not accepted, it means there's a problem with us. It's not a problem with God. Hashem is perfect. It's a problem in us, right? We didn't pray with kavanah, right? We're not worthy of it. We're still sinning a lot. Whatever the reason is, there's a million reasons. We don't know, but it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. A Goy, he comes and he says, listen, I prayed to that God, that God, that God. Hey, this God didn't listen to me. So therefore what? So says Shlomo Melech, make sure you answer tefillah. Why? In order that he doesn't say that there's no God. No, this is a true God. Look. So the same thing. So that means a Goy will be Tohei ala Rishonot. Tuim ala Rishonot is a completely different halacha. Okay? Yeah. Viba Itema, second answer. Yeah, so again, so since that Yavesh, right, since that Yavesh was not Jewish, so therefore, if he's going to come and even if he did it, the Sheikhye Beno and everything, no, that's he's doing it for his own personal accord. It's not the same thing. Yeah, next. Viba Itema. Yeah, if you want, you can answer. Menalan deachmitz. How do you know, right, that Yavesh became chamutz? He became sour, which means he's sour at the end, became bad at the end. It says in the pasuk in Ezra, nidbachin di even gelal telata, v'nidbach di a chadat, v'nifketa min bet malkati tehiv. Right, what does that mean? There were 3 shurot, 3 rows of even shaish, of marble. One of them was made out of etz chadash, of new wood, and all of that came from the Bet HaMelech. So everything was given, all the expenses came from the kingdom. Okay? Lama le Davidachi. Why is it that Yavesh comes and he says to build the walls of the Bet HaMikdash with shurot shel etz between the shurot shel marble? I mean, you have marble on the outside, marble on the inside, in the middle, wood. Yeah, why did he command to do that? So Savar, he thought, Imardu be Yehudai, if the Jews are going to rebel against me, what am I going to do? Iklai benura, I could put it on a fire. That means he did it on purpose. It wasn't just to save money. Nowadays, they save money. You look on the top, you have a beautiful shaish, right? And then on the bottom, it's all wood, right? Why do they do that? It's all just a thin covering. Why? It's all for the looks. Nowadays, everything's for the looks. Yeah? He didn't do it because he was saving money. He thought to himself, very simple. All I need is the Jews to rebel against me one time. I take a match. Obviously not a match. Yeah? Boom. And the entire thing goes up in flames. Why? Because since the inside is all made of wood, it all gets burned down. If the entire thing was marble doesn't burn like that. And even if it would, it would take much longer. Here, boom, that's it. I already made it. I already had it. So therefore, you see from here that he was already kilu ichmitz. He was already on the bad side. Yeah? So says the Gemara, 1 second. Atu Shlomo lo avedachi. 1 second. If you're going to use that rule of thumb, Shlomo Melech also did the exact same thing. He did marble on the inside, marble on the outside, and wood in the middle. Right? V'aktiv, very good. Right? V'aktiv, it's written. Shlosha ture gazit v'tur krutot arazim. He says there's 3 avne gazit and 1 of korot arazim, cedar wood. So you see, Shlomo Melech also did it of cedar wood. But the Gemara does not answer like what he said. The Gemara answers, Shlomo avad milemala, v'ihu avid milemata. Shlomo Melech, when did he make this shurat binyan of etz? He said only on the top. So therefore, even if you would burn the top part, the cut of the wall is still there. Ihu avid milemata, he did it on the bottom, right? Which means, so that way, if you burn the bottom, what happens? The entire binyan just falls. Meaning he on the bottom, he went and he did this. Not on the top. Shlomo Melech, he did it on the top. So even if it's on the top, if you have a full thing of binyan of shaish, and then on the top, it stops. So stop. Okay, but you still have the cut of the walls. You know, the cut of the binyan.
All the plans
here, it's on the bottom.
They were given by Ruach HaKodesh.
Another reason, right, to differentiate between Shlomo Melech and Yavesh, Shlomo shake bebinyana. Shlomo was mashkia the etz inside the binyan, so the binyan protected on the etz, and therefore was very difficult to burn it. Which means, even though there was wood, the wood was so embedded inside of the marble that until you would get the wood going, it was too difficult. So that was what Shlomo Melech was doing. He didn't do it in the binyan, which means that since the etz was completely revealed, the wood was completely revealed. So you could just burn it in 2 seconds. So imagine, so not only did he do it on the bottom, and then once you topple the bottom, you topple the entire thing, he also just left it revealed. All you needed is one person to mamash to go for it, and that's it.
Do you know why Shlomo Melech
Yeah.
put Etz in the middle? What does the Etz do? The marble is so much stronger. And you have 2 layers of marble.
Maybe like what they said about saving the money. I don't know. It doesn't say here.
Or maybe marble is heavier on the top. Could cut, I don't know.
The marble is something that would really sustain a structure.
So says the Gemara, another answer. Ve'od, Shlomo sadye besida. Shlomo Melech, he plastered it with seed, with lime, right? And therefore, once you plaster it with lime, it's very different. Lime. L-I-M-E. Basically, that Shlomo Melech plastered it with lime. Once you plaster it with lime, it's hard to get to burn. And Daryavish did not plaster with lime, so it's very easy to burn. Okay, so these are just 4 different. These are basically 4 different differences between Shlomo Melech and Daryavish. How you see that Daryavish was not the biggest of the tzaddikim, because when he wanted to, he would just boom, boom. He puts it like a matchbox, right?
Alternate model.
Yeah, he had something very easy. Exactly, premeditated. So says the Gemara, Rav Yosef, yeah? Rav Yosef, yeah, he's working out in muscles, yeah, in the brain. There's not much cobwebs up there anymore. Rav Yosef, Ve'i Tema Rabbi Yitzchak Amar. Rav Yosef, and some people say Rav Yitzchak says, Menalan de'achmitz. How do we know also he was machmitz? Mehacha, from another pasuk. Vayomer li hamelech v'ashegal yoshevet etzlo. My shegal. So yesterday we translated shegal as his wife, right? His wife was sitting beside him, right? Which is a malka. Amar Rabba bar Lima mishmeh de Rav kalbeta. It was a kalba. Yeah, which means what? Shegal. Shegal was a wife.
You know what is Gelena, no?
Yeah, you're very good. So we read it Ishkavena, but it's written Shegelna, right? That's the way that's written in Kitavo. Here he says Vashegal Yoshevet. So we thought it was a wife. Here he says it wasn't a wife. It was a kalbeta. It was a female dog. Why? Because he was living right with a female dog.
The donkey of.
You see. Let him help you with something. Yeah. Very good. So therefore, yeah. So he comes and he says, yeah. Fine. Says the Gemara. We're going to ask the following question. Yeah, that which is written in the pasuk, because now we're talking about, we're going to ask the question. We just said that he was with his dog, right? Female dog. That's a karbelata, that's a shegal. So says the Gemara, ועל מראה שמיה התרוממת, ולמניה דיבתה היטב כל המף, ואנת ורבנך שגלתך וכנתך חמרה שתים בהון. So this is talking about that you were התגאית. You became haughty on Adon HaShamayim, the master of the universe. וכלי ביתו הביאו לפניך, and they brought the kelim of the Bet HaMikdash in front of you. Okay, this is talking about Balshetza. Remember, the father of Vashti. Yeah? ואתה ושריך והשגל שלך, ופילגשך, שותים בהם יין. You, your ministers, your shegal shelcha. So again, we think that obviously if it's the ministers and now shegal, the pilag shecha and your pilag shin, they're drinking wine in front of you. Now, the shegal, if you're going to tell me now that shegal is kalbeta, he is a kalba, is a female dog. Kalbeta ba mishtaya chamra, what the female dog is drinking wine. Because it says, what did he say? They're drinking dog. What? So your dog is drinking wine? So it says over here, that's not a question. They get the dog accustomed to drinking wine and he drinks wine.
Well, what is the difference? If you're having sex with her, what is the big difference for the wine? I mean,
okay. As the Gemara, now we're going to ask another question. Because it says in a pasuk, Benot melachim bikrotecha, nitzeva shegal liminecha bechetem ofir. This is the perek of Tehillim that is actually for weddings, by the way. This is the perek of Tehillim that says Kol Kula B'Melech Penima, right? So this perek of Tehillim, this chapter of Tehillim 45. There it says Benot Melachim Bikrotecha, right? Which means Mechabdot Utcha. Nitzeva Shegal Liminecha Bechet Ovir. There, Shegal Nitzeva Liminecha, right? That means she's basically going to be adorned beside you with gold. Okay, and this is, by the way, where we have the thing that always at the Kala should be to the right of the Chatan. It says here, Nitzeva Shegal Liminecha Bechet Ovir, which means that she's to your right, all adorned in gold. So says the Gemara, if you're going to tell me now that shegal means a female dog, what is the Navi telling Yisrael? That what? It's a ma'ala that the dog is going to be in gold? Saying what? You're adorning your dogs in gold? Chazak baruch. You're going to adorn your dogs in gold? So says the Gemara, no. Hachi kamar. This is what it means to say. In the reward that the Torah is so precious to Bnei Israel, just like the Kalbeta is so precious to the Goyim, that's why you guys were zoche to zahav ofir, to a beautiful adornment of gold, right, which is meshubach. That means just like to them, it's a delicacy. You understand? For them, this is like, a thing. For us, it's going to be what? Ketem ofir. There's the Gemara. Another answer. Leolam shegal malketai. Really, be'emet shegal means the queen. Okay, but Rabba Bar Lima, Gemara Gemila. However, though, Rabba Bar Lima came and he had a Kabbalah in his hand, a tradition. Remember, whenever it says Gemara Gemila means that he has a tradition like a Masoret. Ve'amai karolei shagal. So why do they call the Kabbalah also the Kalba? Why do they call it a shagal? Right? Nishaita chaviva lav keshagal, because it was so precious to him, just like the queen. Meaning his dog was precious to him, just like the queen. But usually the word will come in queen, but he had a Masoret that year meant Kalbeta. Inami or Shoshiva bimkom shegal. He sat the dog in the place of the queen. That's why he was called like a queen. Because mamash means that the dog was in the queen's seat. Mamash, this is where what he did. Okay, fine. Next, the Gemara says, you can answer another answer. Minala and means, how do we know that he went off the path? From this pasuk, it says, Ad kesaf kikarin me'ah, ve'ad chintirin korin me'ah, ve'ad kamar batin me'ah, ve'abatin meshach me'ah, umlach dila ketav, which means 100 kikarot kesef, 100 kur of chitim. 100 kikarot kesef is 100, bars of gold, of silver. 100 kur of chitim of 100, it's a measurement of wheat. 100 houses, which is the nefach, the volume of wine. 100 houses are the volume of oil. Umelach lelo kitzva, and salt without any type of a number, right? Infinity, right? Google, yeah, shemiikara, right? That he says over here that it's going to be meikara, which means that it's going to be from the beginning. Belo kitzuta, behashta bekitzuta. At the beginning, he gave them to do whatever they wanted, and all of a sudden afterwards, he comes and he starts tightening up the at the beginning he says spend whatever you want on the Beit HaMikdash. And all of a sudden, he comes and he says, no, spend this amount, and then this amount. He started cutting down. So you see that at the end, he was machmis. Because if at the beginning he comes and he says, here's a blanc, how do you say it? Blanc carte? Carte de blanche. Carte de blanche. Carte de blanche. A blank check. Right? Which is basically you use whatever you want. And all of a sudden now he's coming and he's closing it down. So that's it. So says the Gemara, he says, maybe at the beginning, right? Maybe at the beginning that Yavish was not buying the kitzpah miti, right, which was matim, which is compatible, and that's why he didn't give the kitzpah. So he just saw it and he said, whatever you guys went. But once he went and he started finding out how much bemet they needed, so then he only went and he gave them what we need. Meaning sometimes you come and they ask you, what's the budget? Well, I don't know the budget. First, let me get an idea. So he comes and he says, start working. Afterwards, once he starts getting an idea, now I'm going to say, okay, so this is the budget, but this is how much I want you. So maybe that's what he did. So answers the Gemara, you're right. So that's not a proof. It's like what we mentioned before, the previous proofs, whether it's from the dog or from the this or from the that, or from the way that he built the Beit HaMikdash with the wood on the bottom and all those things. So that's the way how we know that the person went off the track. Okay, and we're on the two dots. As the Gemara, we're talking about that on Mecha B'Nisan is Rosh Hashana for Melachim, for kings, and Shalosh Regalim. Says the Gemara, Regalim Be'echa B'Nisanu, B'Chamisha Asar B'Nisanu. What does it mean that it's Rosh Hashana Regalim? When's the first regel? The 15th of Nisan. Not on Rosh Chodesh Nisan. So what does it mean that it's Rosh Hashana Regalim? Ma kesher. So says the Gemara, Rav Chasta says Rav Chasta, Regel Shebo Rosh Hashana Regalim. You're right. The regel of Rosh Chodesh Nisan, that is the Rosh Hashana for Regalim. Okay, what's a nafkamina? Nafkamina, right? What do I care? Okay, fine. So the one of Sukkot is Rosh Hashana for Regalim. What's a nafkamina? It says no. The nafkamina is lamekam lebal teacher. What is bal teacher? We know that there's immediately when you make a neder, you have to fulfill your neder. However, the ones of you didn't fulfill the neder immediately, you come and you didn't. So a neder is a promise. You went, you promise, I'm going to give a certain sacrifice to Beit HaMikdash, and you didn't do it. So until when do you have? So says the Gemara, Rabbi Shimon in Rabbi Shimon. The time was learned to the Braita. Echad anoder, whether a person is going to come and he's going to make a neder towards the Bet Midrash. The echad magdish, or somebody that's going to consecrate something to the Bet Midrash. The echad marif, somebody that's going to give a valuation to the Bet Midrash, which means he says the erech of this person or myself is going to go to the Bet Midrash. The echad, right? Kevan shavru alav shlosha regalim. Once it passes 3 regalim and they didn't pay it up, over bevalta acher. They are over on the avira balta acher, which means do not become late to pay off your debt. Rabbi Shimon says it's not just shalosh regalim, because if I did it by Shavuot time, so then, or let's say I did it by Sukkot time, right, or right before Pesach. Before Pesach is Mos, but if it's before Pesach, so then I only have 6 months, because Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot. So I was right before Pesach. I made a neder. I wanted to give something. What? So no, one second. That's Rabbi Shimon. So what happens is you have 3 regalim. You have Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot. But does it have to be kesidran or not? So says Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Shimon omer shosha regalim kesidran v'chag hamatzot techila, which means that if I did it right before Shavuot, I have the most time, because that means I have Shavuot, Sukkot, Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot, because I need 3 regalim kesidran according to their order. So if I don't have Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot in the order, it's nothing. So if I did it before Shavuot, I have like a year and a half. You understand? If I
do the cycle.
no, you need shalosh regalim
in a year.
and kesidran, not in a year. Because if I one more time, if I did it right before Pesach, I have 6 months. Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot.
You have 11 months until
One more time. Let me repeat. I did it right before Pesach, 10th of Nisan. I made a neder. How many months do I have?
Till the next Pesach. So
No, not the next Pesach. Shalosh regalim kesidran. Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot. Once I finishes Sukkot, I had 3 regalim kesidran, like the normal way. 6 months. If I do it before Sukkot, I've got more, because then I've got Sukkot, Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot. So I've got almost a year.
So that's his question, because right now what you said, you went twice to Sukkot.
וכן היה רבי שמעון בר יוחאי אומר, so to Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai used to say, הרגלים פעמים 3, פעמים 4, פעמים 5. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 5. Now we're going to explain. כיצד? נדע לפני הפסח, if you did it before Pesach, 3, right? So now you're going to have 3 regalim, which is Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot. If it was לפני עצרת, it's going to be 5, because you need Shavuot, Sukkot, and then Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot. If you did it before Sukkot, you need 4, because you have Sukkot, Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot. So no, before Atzeret. Atzeret is not Shmini Atzeret. Atzeret is Shavuot. Okay? Tana Rabbanan, we learned in the Braita. Chayave Adamim. Somebody that comes and he says, Damai Alai, which means my money is on me, that I have to bring it to the Bet HaMikdash. Or Erech, which means the Erech of Mr. Ploni Almoni, that he's worth millions, goes to the Bet HaMikdash. Or Acharamin. Yeah? Or Cherem. Cherem is also, he's consecrating his properties to the Bet HaMikdash. Or Ekdeshot. Chataot v'ashamot, or whether it's chatat and hasham, sin offerings, guilt offerings, olot ushamim, burnt offerings, peace offerings, tzedakot, any type of tzedakah, masrot, maser, bechor, abechor, maaser be'ema, pesach, korban pesach, dalad amubek, leket shicha u'pe'al, kevan shavru alehen shlosha regalim. Once any of these things pass shalosh regalim, over bebal ta'ached, you're over bebal ta'ached. So it's not only just on korbanot, it's on anything. Leket shicha, everything, all these things, bechor, maaser, everything. 3 regalim, גמרנו.
Is it a mitzvah to blah? He's like passing it up.
מה? Okay. There's the Gemara. Rabbi Shimon אומר, Rabbi Shimon says, 3 regalim כסדרן, 3 regalim כסדרן, וחג המצות תחילה, right? And it's always going to be, חג הפסח is always the first one. So says the Gemara, Rabbi Meir אומר, Rabbi Meir says, כיוון שעבר עליהן רגל אחד, עובר בבלת אחר. כל שיטת רבי מאיר, 1 regel is already enough. 1 regel. It's already enough for בלת אחר. 1 חג. Doesn't, right? 1 chag. Rabbi Eliezer Omer, Rabbi Eliezer says, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Omer, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov says, Kevan shavru alein 2 regalim over Baltechem. Now we have another shita, 2 regalim. So first of all, we have a few things. First of all, is it 1 regel, 2 regel, or 3 regals? And number 3, right? Besides whichever amount, right? Which order? Does it need a tzifut or not? Or it could be anything. 5th shita, Rabbi Elazar ben Shimon Omer, Kevan shavar alehen chag HaSukkot, according to this one, the Ikar is Sukkot. Nothing to do with anything else. Doesn't matter when it is. Sukkot is the Ikar. Okay, now why? My Tama, the Tanakama, we have to understand what's Tanakama. Tanakama says, you need 3 regalim in any seder. That was the Tanakama, right? Before Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Shimon was who says one that says you need 3 regalim plus kesidran. According to Tanakama, shlosha regalim. Why does he hold shlosha regalim? He says, Michti, let us see. Minay usalik, with the pasuk was talking about, shalosh pa'amim b'shana. Right? If it says shalosh pa'amim b'shana, lama limed, why did it have to say b'chag matzot, b'chag shvot, b'chag sukkot? It's the end of Parashat Re'eh, Devarim. You with me? Yeah, okay. So at the end of Parashat Re'eh, yeah, he comes and he says over there, shalosh pa'amim b'shana, b'chag matzot, b'chag shvot, b'chag sukkot. If you already told me shalosh pa'amim b'shana, we're talking about shalosh regalim. Why did you have to express to me what are the shalosh regalim? You don't need a, you don't need a person. The child knows what the shalosh regalim are. So he says, so why did I have to say it? Shmamina bal ta'acher. So he says that's the chidush. The chidush is since it says shalosh pa'amim b'shana, and then it said each one. Bal ta'acher, you need shalosh regalim. It doesn't have to be kesidran. Shalosh pa'amim, shalosh regalim. Rabbi Shimon says, as we say kesidran, why? Eno tzarich lomar b'chag haSukkot shebo katuv diber. The pasuk was already talking about Sukkot, meaning right before the pasuk we were talking about, right, Sukkot. We were talking about Sukkot. Okay, so lama ne'emar, why does it say Chag HaSukkot? Lomar Chag ze acharon, to tell you this is the last one, which means the last Chag is Sukkot. So therefore it has to be not only Shalosh Regalim kesidran. There's Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot. Sukkot is the last one. Rabbi Meir, that he says one regel is already enough. My tamad, it's written in the pasuk uvata shama. You're going to come to the Bet Mikdash, you're going to bring it over there. Right? Mashma from here, and when a person comes to the Bet Mikdash, even once, he's obligated to bring any korban that he had to do. So according to Rabbi Meir, even one again, Rabbanan, the rabbis that argue on Rabbi Meir, they say, no, that's a mitzvah taseh, which means there's a mitzvah taseh, a positive commandment to come and to bring, right, the korban that you're obligated. However, though, you're not over on a lo taseh, you're not going to transgress a negative if you didn't bring it then. Rabbi Meir, and according to Rabbi Meir, since the Torah told him bring a korban and he didn't bring it, so automatically you are transgressing the Bal Tacher, the negative command. Okay? Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, remember, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov said two regalim. Why does it say two regalim? My time, what's the reasoning? It says in pasuk, this is what you have to do, right, for Hashem in the Moadim. Right? This is the end of Parashat Pinchas. Okay, yeah, exactly. This is not in this is Bamidbar. Yeah, he says miut moadim shnaim. The minimum of moadim is always two. Why does it mean two? Because remember, the minimum of plural is always two. So it's two moadim, right? So says the Gemara Rabbanan, and according to rabbis, Ha'ulech de Rabbi Yonah, he holds like Rabbi Yonah. Ta'amar Rabbi Yonah, but says Rabbi Yonah, Hukshu kol moadim kulam zelazeh. All the moadim were juxtaposed to each other, meaning all of them have a hikesh. Hikesh is juxtaposition proximity. They're all close together. To tell you what, right? They're just like all of them mechaprim. All of them are kapara al tuma mikdash v'kadasha, which means that if a person came into the Bet Mikdash and he ate, right, kodesh when he was tameh, right, or he came in or he ate, or whichever one it was, he came in when he was tameh, or he took it out and he ate it when he was tameh, right? He's over nisur, because he's obviously not allowed to go to the Bet Mikdash when he's tameh. But if he did it, the seir chatat of Rosh Chodesh is mechaper elav. So too the seir chatat of the muadim, meaning every single moed you bring a seir chatat, a he goat, right, which is a sin offering. That's also going to atone for that sin coming into the Bet Mikdash when a person is impure, or taking out kodshim out of the Bet Mikdash and eating it when the person is impure. So says the Gemara, right? According to Rabbi Shimon, what's the reasoning? My time, what's the reasoning why he says that you're going to be over on Bal Ta'acher, right, until after Sukkot? The Tanya, as he says in the Braita, Rabbi Shimon Omer, Lo Yomar Chag HaSukkot. You don't have to say the word Chag HaSukkot, because it was already talking about that. The Pasuk was talking about, they was talking about Shalosh Pa'amim B'Shana, we're talking about their Chag HaSukkot, Chag HaSukkot. We're talking about Sukkot, right? So Lama Ne'emar, why does it say Chag HaSukkot? Lomar Sheregel Ze Gorem. This is a regel which is a Gorem. Meaning Chag HaSukkot is a special Chag, but that is a Gorem for Bal Ta'acher. So according to the Shita, Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Shimon, Sukkot is everything. If it passed Sukkot, you didn't bring your Korban, Kaddish. You're over on Bal Ta'acher. Anything else, I don't care.
So the best is
So,
after Sukkot.
no, according to this Shita. Again, there's 5 Shitot. I told you 5 Shitot. Tanakama, Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov. Sorry, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov and Rabbi Elazar ben Shimon. 5 Shitot. Okay? Which one? Yes. Yeah? Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Shimon. So now he says like this. Yeah? He says, Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, Hay b'chag b'sod, chag shvot, chag skot, my darshive. But according to Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, what does he do with Chag Matzot, Chag Shavuot, and Chag Sukkot? What do they do with that? At the end of the day, there's three words extra, right? They said that you don't need shalosh regelim. They said either one regel or two regels, right? So what do you do with this pasuk that it says Chag Matzot, Chag Shavuot, Chag Sukkot? So he says, Mibayle lech Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, Rabbi Elazar, Amar Rabbi Yoshia, Amar Rabbi Elazar ben Yoshia, Minan la'atzeret sheish lo tashlumin kushva. How do we know that Shavuot has tashlumin for 7 days? Meaning, if a person has to bring a korban on the first day of Pesach, first day of Sukkot, and first day of Shavuot. If they didn't bring it on the first day of Pesach, when can they bring it? Second day, not second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. The same thing with Sukkot. Shavuot, how do we know? Shavuot is only 1 day. So how do you know? But that's the question. Minayin, I said, how do we know? I'm not telling you what you're doing. I'm asking you, why do you know? How do you know? That's Zeba. It says in Pasuk, B'chag Matzot, Chag Sukkot, Makish Chag HaShavuot, Chag Matzot. Where's the hekesh juxtaposition between Shavuot and Matzot? Just like Chag Matzot, they have Tashlumin Kol Shiva, so to Shavuot, that's Tashlumin Kol Shiva. So says the Gemara, the Lekesh Chag HaSukkot. Why did you go from Shavuot to Pesach? Maybe I go from Shavuot to Sukkot. So it says Mala Halan Shmona. There it's 8 days. Sukkot Shmini Atzeret, which is 8 days. So 2 years should be 8 days. Why did you tell me 7 days? Because of Pesach. So says the Gemara, yeah, Shmini Regel B'Tzatzmo. No, it's not 8 days. Shmini Atzeret is another Chag. Shmini Atzeret is another Chag. So it's not. So you only have 7 days. Right? Shmini Atzeret Simchat Torah is another Chag. Since it's another Chag, you don't have 8 days. Okay, so it says Gemara, Imar Damnina. When do we say Shmini Atzeret is a Regel B'Tzatzmo? Inyan Pazak Kashav. To do with Pazak Kashav. If you remember, you have it over there. To do with lottery, to do with Shechianu, that it's another Regel, that it's the Korban, the song, the Bracha. Right there, it's another. That's what you have to say Shmini Chag Atzeret. There, it's another Regel. But to do with Tashumin, according to everybody, Tashumin Rishonu, it's all a Tashumin of the first day. Meaning Shmini Atzeret is only a Chag, a separate Chag, to do with certain halachon, not to do with everything. So the time was we learned in the Mishnah. Somebody that don't do bring a korban on Yom Tov Rishon Shel Chag, Chogeg Kol HaRegel, he's allowed to do Chogiga, the entire regel. Yom Tov Achlon Shel Chag, Yom Tov Achlon Shel Chag. So answers the Gemara, Tafasta merubelo tafasta. This is right. Tafasta merubelo tafasta, tafasta muad tafasta. What does that mean? If I have a choice to compare Shavuot to Pesach and Shavuot to Sukkot, the fact that Pesach has 7 days and Sukkot has 8 days, it's much better to litfos hamuat than litfos merubeh. It's much better to grab the 7 days than to grab the 8 days. So says the Gemara, okay, fine. So why did the Torah then write Chag Sukkot? La'akshui lechag matzot to make a hekesh to Chag Matzot. Just like Chag Matzot, hey amud aleph on the top. Just like Chag Matzot, taunina, you need lina. So to Chag Sukkot, taunina. So to Chag Sukkot is going to be requiring lina. Also needs lina. And then we continue with Zat Hashem tomorrow. We'll explain that.